Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Ascot Racecourse here on Wednesday. It is June the 19th, 2019. I'm going to look at all the races here on day 2 of the Royal Meeting from Ascot, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and join me the rest of the week for some more Royal Ascot preview videos. Great card today. We're going to look at all 6 races, so let's get on to it, and hopefully we have a better result than we had yesterday, where we really had one winner. But let's get to the first race, the 2:30 from Ascot, which is the Group 2 Queen Mary Stakes. It's a Group 2 race for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $141,000, race for 2-year-old fillies only. We have a field of 28 horses, even though I believe there's a withdrawal in this race. I believe the 12 horse, Good Vibes, is going to be scratched, so we'll be down to a field of 27, going the distance of ground of 1,000 meters or 5 furlongs on the wet-going turf course. This is a very wide open race. Any of the 3 horses I'm going to give you, I think, can win. But as a top selection, I'm going to go to the number 9 horse, Final Song. I'm going to go 9, 16, 25 in the TriCast trifecta. 9, 16, 25. I give it out in TriCast or trifecta form, but basically that's my top 3. But the top selection is the 9 horse, Final Song. This 2-year-old filly by Dark Angel. Godolphin Donis, I have been so trains. Christophe Soumillon, the Belgium French-based rider, gets the leg up. The horse's most recent outing came the 10th of May here at Ascot on very soft ground. It's 5 furlongs in a Class 4 maidens filly, and the horse won by 5 lengths. Handled the tough going here at Ascot Day, and just won for fun on the front. And very easy run. Also got up the hill well, which is you either like Ascot or you don't. He loved it. Some other horses didn't, but that was a very impressive run. He's going to see similar ground today. I like that he's drawn a little bit towards the outside fence today, and I expect him to run well. His last run, like I said, was very impressive. I'll take him here. I also think the American-based 16 horse Kamari could run a big one. This is the best of the Americans in this race. It's filly by Munnings. John Velazquez gets the leg up for Wesley Ward. John Velazquez, how do I explain him to a European? Kind of our Frankie Dettori, the veteran rider who's won everything, but just not as charismatic. This Kamari, I thought she had a very impressive run on the 25th of April at Keeneland in a main special, going 4.5 furlongs, and the horse won by 15 and had a horrible beginning. Out of the 6 horses in the race, this horse broke 5th out of 6 that day, but was quarter horse down the gate by Velazquez that day, got the lead going out of the chute, and after that the race was over, and had a hand ride to the wire, and just won for fun. It was a very impressive victory that day, one of the most impressive 2-year-old races so far in the year in America. Since then, she's been training well at Keeneland on turf course. The biggest question with her today will be the soft going. Wesley Ward, when the ground gets soft at Ascot, he gets a little worried sometimes, but if she can handle the soft going and set some easy fractions in the front end, I think she can get away with it. At 6-1, I think she'll run well, so definitely use her here. If you're going to play a multi-race, like like a pick 6, pick 4, I believe they're offering here in the States, I would definitely use this horse here. And I also think the number 25 horse Tango could run a big race. Ryan Moore's on this one, 2-year-old filly by No Nay Never. So we're trading at 12-1 in the UK markets most recently. But this horse's most recent outing came in Navan on the 8th of June on good ground, 6 furlongs in a filly's maiden, and she won by 2.5 lengths at 17 cents to the dollar. She was supposed to break the maiden that day, and she finally did. She quickened up nicely, and she had a very good run. Before that, I thought she had a great run also at the Curragh, 6 furlongs on firm ground with filly's maiden. On very fast ground, she finished second by a head. She just missed, but she closed up well that day. If there's going to be a horse closing from the inside, I think it's going to be her at 12-1. Another horse you'll definitely use on your tickets. She also has a live chance of winning here. So to recap my selection for the first, the 2:30 from Ascot, it is the Group 2 Queen Mary Stakes. As a top selection, I'll take the number 9 horse, Final Song. I'll go 9, 16, 25 in the TriCast trifecta. But to tell you the truth, I'll probably put all 3 horses in exact or forecast box. But like I said, the 9 Final Song, the 16 horse Kamari, and the 25 Tango all have live chances. Definitely use those in multi-race selections. So now let's get to race number 2 from Ascot. The second race, the 3:05 from Ascot, it is the Group 2 Queen's Vase. It's a Group 2 race for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $288,000. This race is for 3-year-olds only. 13 horses, a baker's dozen, are going the distance of grounds of 2,800 meters, or the distance of ground of 1.75 miles on the turf course. Stepping stone here towards the St. Ledger and the other good 3-year-old staying races throughout the year. But, the St. Ledger winner has come out of this race, most recently Kew Gardens for Aidan O'Brien. And talking about Aidan O'Brien, he trains my top selection here, the number 10 horse Norway. I'm going to go 10-3-7 in the TriCast trifecta. 10-3-7 TriCast trifecta. Top selection of 10 horse Norway. The trio colt by Galileo. Ryan Moore gets leg up for Aidan O'Brien. Ryan Moore had a great Tuesday afternoon, by winning the Coventry and then winning the St. James Palace, but hopefully keep the momentum going here today. But this Norway most recent outing came the 1st of June at Epsom, a mile and a half in the Group 1 English Derby, and he finished 8th by 7 lengths. He was drawn wide, he weakened out of it. It just wasn't his day to win. I think coming back to wet ground, which he's excelled on, he should really run a better race. Before that, he ran in the Group 3 Chester Vaz at Chester, a mile and a half on May the 8th. He finished second by 8 lengths, ran Sir Dragonaut, who ran a hell of a race so far, but this horse, he just wasn't catching him on the wet ground. First off the break, also, he needed the race. And then before that, Saint-Cloud on the 27th of October, a mile and a quarter on good yielding ground. In the Group 1 Grand Criterium, the Saint-Cloud, he finished 4th by 4 lengths. He didn't weaken out of it, but he didn't quicken up either. He stayed the trip well, and then he won a listed stakes going to 2,000 Monocord trip at Newmarket last fall. He won by length. He won for fun, a very easy race, and then he broke in the main at Nice very easily in the fall last year by 6.5. He's going to love to stay. He's bred to go it. He has a good post draw. The trainer and jockey both know how to win this race, and I think he's sitting on a good run. So at 7-1, I'll use him. I also think another horse could run a big race would be the number 3 horse, Dancing Willoughby. Ocean Murphy gets the leg up for Andrew Balding. The three-year-old colt by Nathaniel. This horse's most recent I came in the Queen's in the Chester Vaz at Chester a few weeks ago, going a mile and a half, and he finished 3rd by 8 3/4 lengths that day, and he just never got into it. He never quickened up. It wasn't the day to win, but before that, in a Class 3 conditions at Newbury, he ran a good, second place finish by 1.5 lengths behind King Otakar. He wasn't going to catch him, but he didn't weaken out of it. I thought he stayed the trip well, and then he ran an 8th in the Racing Post Trophy last year, or the Virtue Futurity Trophy. Mile trip, tough field, and that was a very tough 2-year-old race. It just wasn't his day to win, but I like him with the staying trip. I think he could stay. He's a good post draw. He can handle a wet going. At 10-1, I'll do a small each-way wager on him also. And the 7-horse Moonlit Spirit could also run a big one. Kieran McAvoy gets leg up the Kiwi for the Godolphin and Charlie Appleby. This horse has run some decent races as of recently. He ran in the Prix de l'Ais at Longchamp a few weeks ago in the mile and a half trip, and he finished 3rd by 3 3/4 lengths. He had a little bit of a rough trip, but I thought he stayed the trip well. He's the kind of horse, he's either going to stay the 1 3/4 or he's not. The 1.5 miles might be his best point, or it might be just that little bit too short, but like it was last time. But him I'm a little weary about, because like I said, I just don't. I think 1.5 miles might be his best trip, but you never know about the 1 3/4. But I think there's a chance. But before that, he won at Leicester very nicely, broke the main at Linkfield very nicely, and he won at Newcastle very nicely. His only subpar race was when he got off the group company. My thoughts on him today will be he's either going to run a massive race or he's not. Let's see. 10-1, I might use him on the multis, but, this is a very good Queen's Vaz this year. So to recount my selection for the second, the 305 from Ascot's Group 2 Queen's Vaz, that's the top selection. I'll take the 10-horse Norway. I'll go 10-3-7 in the TriCast trifecta to race. The 340, the third race from Ascot's, the Group 1 Prince of Wales Stakes. It's a Group 1 race for Class 1 horses, going for a purse $960,000, race for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 8 horses going 2,000 meters, or a mile and a quarter on the turf course. My top selection, I'm going to take the French-based horse, the 4-horse Valdegeist. I'm going to go 4-1-7 in the TriCast trifecta. 4-1-7 TriCast trifecta, top selection of 4-horse Valdegeist. This 5-year-old horse by Galileo, Andre Fabre trains. Pierre-Charles Badeau gets the leg up. The horse's most recent outing came the 28th of April at Longchamp, a mile and a quarter in the Group 1 Prix Guinée, and this horse put on a show. He won by 4.5 lengths, and he wasn't sent off as the favorite. He should have been sent off as the favorite, but they were betting the Godolphin horse that day into the ground, which I don't understand why. I thought he was very overrated. Yeah, he won the prep race for that, but this horse, it was his seasonal reappearance. He was facing lesser quality horses if you look at, considered to the horses raced against last year, and he just won for fun. fun. It was a very good run. Before that, he ran the Group 1 Hong Kong Vaz at Shatin, a mile and a half, December the 9th. Don't think a mile and a half is his preferred trip. He finished 5th by 4 1/4 lengths. He ran a decent race that day. It wasn't the world's best, wasn't the world's worst race for him. It was a better race than the race before, which came to the British Cup Turf at Churchill on the mile and a half on very, very heavy ground. He finished 5th by 13 lengths, and he just never had the run. Weakened out of it. It wasn't the day to win, but a lot of horses weren't handling that very boggy going. And then he ran the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe at Longchamp, mile and a half, October the 7th. From a wide poster, he finished 4th by 1/2 lengths. He had a little bit of a turn of foot late. It wasn't the world's worst race for him. And then he won the Prix Foy at Longchamp very nice last year, and he won the Grand Prix de Saint-Cloud at Saint-Cloud very nicely last year on very wet ground. If you look at the horses he beat last year, he beat some good horses home. If you look at the horses he finished behind, he finished behind some good horses. He's going to have to overcome Y Postra, but I think he's good enough to win at 6-1. He'll be my best bet of the day, so I'll take him here. If he doesn't show up, a very weird horse, so I kept going back to a lot in this race, would be the one horse, Crystal Ocean. He loves Ascot. Frankie Dettori's on this one for Sir Michael Stout, favorite horse by See the Stars. This horse's most recent outing came to Group 1 Al Rayan at Newbury a few weeks ago, which he won by 2 lengths at 22 cents a dollar. He just won for fun. It was a very subpar group of horses, but he still took off clear. He won the Gordon Richards with his hand down before that very nicely, and if you look at his races last year, he ran quite well. He actually won here at Royal Ascot by winning the Hardwick by 2.5 last season. But the problem with him is he can't win against Group 1 horses. He'll place against them, but he hasn't really run those good races here. But, he's always been the bridemates in Group 1 races. Today might be the chance for him to be the bride, and like I said, he loves Ascot a lot. He's the wise guy horse here. If he goes up in odds to possibly 6-1, I might do a small each way wager on him, but I'm more confident with Vald guys. But this Crystal Ocean is a weird horse here, so I'll definitely do, like I said, if he goes up in odds to possibly 6-1, I might do a small each way. But to recap my selection for the third, the 340 from Ascot, it's the Group 1 Prince of Wales. Gonna go with the 4-horse Vald guys, and like I said, the 1-horse Crystal Ocean could also run a big one. I'll go 4-1-7 in the tri-cash trifecta. To race number 4. Race number 4, the 420 from Ascot. It is the Group 2 Duke of Cambridge Stakes. It's a Group 2 race for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $224,000. Race for 4-year-olds and upwards. Fillies mares only. 17 horses are going 1,600 meters or 1 mile down the straight mile course. My top selection here, I'm going to take the number 17 horse Ferocious. I'm going to go 17-1-13 in the tri-cash trifecta. That's the top 3, 17-1-13. Top selection, 17 horse Ferocious. This 4-year-old filly by Frankel. Shin Murphy gets leg up for Sir Michael Stout. The horse's most recent outing came the 1st of June at Epsom on very fast, firm ground, mile 16th in the Group 3 Princess Elizabeth Stakes. And the horse finished 3rd by 1.5 lengths. Had a high weight that day, but as the 2-1 favorite, she had a little bit of a turn of foot. It wasn't the world's best race, but it wasn't the world's worst race for either. I think coming to a straight mile today should suit her well, and I think she's sitting on a good run. With every race so far this year, she's been getting better. Before that, she ran in the Dahlia Stakes at Newmarket on Mile 8th, May the 5th, and she finished 4th by 4 1/4 lengths. She kind of weakened out of it right before the final few strides of the race, but first off the break, she desperately needed the race. And then before that, in the Group 1 Sun Chariot at Newmarket, 1 mile, October the 6th, she finished 6th by 6 3/4 lengths, and again, she kind of weakened out of it. The firm ground probably got to her. And then at Sandown last September, 1 mile in the Atlantia Stakes, she won by 1 1/4 lengths, and she just won for fun. A very good run. She'll like the straight mile. She'll like given the ground. She's a good poster from the mid-pack, and I think at 8-1, she'll get a piece fit. The 1-horse I Can Fly could also fly to the victory. This 4-year-old filly by Fascinate Rock. Ryan Moore and A. O'Brien team up for this one. This horse's most recent outing came in the Group 2 Landwade's Stud Stakes at Takura a few weeks ago on the mile trip on very fast ground. She finished 2nd by 2 1/4 lengths, and she really closed up late in the running of the race. It was a decent effort, and she improved a lot from the race before, which came to the Group 1 Lockage at Newbury going the 1 mile trip, facing the boys. She finished 6th by 4.5 lengths. She weakened out of it, and she just ran a crap race, to tell you the truth. Not a lot I could say. In the race before, she ran even crapper in the Made-On in the Dubai Duty Free, or the Dubai Turf, going the mile and the 8th, where she finished 11th by 13 lengths behind Almadai. And, like I said, she just ran crap there. But she did win a Dundalk Phillies main race, handicapped very nicely in March. That was against less quality horses. But I think facing the girls today again, good poster. She does have the heavyweight, but I think at 9-2 she could also get a piece fit. And the 13 horse Warwada, Frankie Dettori on this one for Sir Michael Stout. This horse is a wise guy horse, I say. She's either going to run a massive race or she's not. She's stepping up in loads of class. Her most recent outing came in the Middleton Stakes at York a few weeks ago on the mile quarter, where she finished second by a neck behind Lottie Dar, who had just had everything her way that day. But this horse, she just needed that extra turn of foot that day. Before that, she ran the listed stakes at Kemptingo in the 1 mile trip, and she finished third but went through corner lengths again. She never quickened up, and then she ran at Newmarket on the mile quarter trip in a filly's handicap, which she won by 3.5 lengths, but that was against less quality horses. If she could step up against these tougher horses here today, she can win. I think she'll like it given the ground. Frankie Dettori still hasn't won so far this week at Ascot. I think this could be a live chance for him at 3-1. I like this horse a little bit, not as much as the other two, but I think she could possibly get a piece fit, so just keep her in mind. But to recap my selection for the 420 from Ascot, it's the Group 2 Duke of Cambridge. As a top selection, I'll use the 17 horse Ferocious. I'll go 17, 1, 13 in the trifecta. To race number 5. The 5 o'clock, the 5th race from Ascot's the Royal Hunt Cup. It's a heritage handicap for Class 2 horses, going for a purse of $224,000. Races for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 33 horses. 31 through 33 are also eligible, so only 30 could go. 1,600 meters or a mile on the turf course, the straight mile here. And I'm not a big fan of these handicaps, these larger horse handicaps. I'm looking at it because, a lot of people like these races, but they're not one of my favorite races because it could be so random at times, like a race on British Champions Day, the Balmoral Handicap. Hate that race, the worst race of the year, I think. But let's look at this Royal Hunt Cup, and I'll give you 3 horses that I think can win. But the 3 horses I like here are the 4 horse Moradin, the number 20 horse, who is Seniority, and the 21 horse Chilean. So I'm going to go 4, 20, 21, possibly each way on all 3 of them, depending on the odds. But I'll definitely put them all into an exact box, and they all can be definitely used in the place pond. All these horses I'll be giving you today can be used in the place pod. But the first horse I'll talk about is the 4 horse Moradin, 5-year-old given by Invisible Spirit. Pat Cosgrove gets the leg up for Simon Crisford. The horse's most recent outing came the 1st of June at Epsom, mile 16th in the Group 3 Diomed Stakes, and he finished 5th by 3 lengths, and he just never got into it. Stepping up in loads of class from the last few, he just never ran. The wide poster probably had something to do with it. I think coming down here, step down class, softer going, I think I'll do a lot better. He likes the soft going because he won a Haydock going the mile trip in the class 2, and he won by 2.5 lengths, and he just won for fun, quickened up nicely. First off the break, it was a very good run, and then he ran the 29th of September at Newmarket in one of those stupid heritage handicaps, mile 8th at class 2 handicap, September the 29th. He finished second by 2 3/4 lengths behind Wasak, and it was a very good horse. Frankie Dettori rode for Sagan that day to a great victory. But this horse, he was definitely second best. He ran his heart out. He got away with the trip. He stayed the trip with those tougher 33 other horses that day. And then before that, he ran Sandown 1 mile in mid-September. Finished second by head. And again, he closed up well. He just missed at the end, but he ran a good effort. He's run good as of recently. I like the soft going. At 15-1, I'll use him here. I also think the 20 horse Seniority can get a piece with this 5-year-old given by Dubois. Ryan Moore's on this one for William Haggis, and owned by Her Majesty the Queen. This horse will probably be very overbet today, I must admit, but this horse does have a lot of chance, I think. But the horse's most recent outing came 31st of May at Epsom, mile 16th on Oaks Day in a Class 2 handicap. The horse finished second by 5 lengths, and got second that day. The horse who won by a lot. This horse got second. First off, a little bit of a refreshing. Probably need the race. I think coming second off the break to a mile softer going, I think he'll run well. Before that, this horse ran at Maidan on 31st of January, a mile in a class 2 handicap. He finished 8th by 6 3/4 lengths and just had nothing, never quickened up. Wasn't the day to win as the favorite. And then before that, Maidan in a 7-furlong handicap, finished 4th by 5 1/4 lengths, and again, weakened out of it. He just never got into it. And then he ran in that handicap at Newmarket back in the fall, going a mile and 8th with Sagan, who won. This horse just never got into it. Has shown better form on wet ground. I like this horse a little bit on the outside. At 15-1, could also get a piece fit. Out of the 3 horses I'm giving you, I think this horse would be on the bottom of the 3 horses. I like this horse 3rd best, and the horse I like 2nd best would be the 21 horse Chilean, 4-year-old colt by Efra here. Gets Hornbeat in the saddle for Martin Mead. This horse's most recent outing came the 22nd of September over at Longchamp, yielding ground a mile and a quarter in the Group 3 Prince d'Orange. He finished fourth by 9.5 lengths that day. The winner of the Godolphin horse just ran a hell of a race on the front end, but this horse he had a little bit of a turn foot. It was an improvement off the race before it came at York, a mile and the eighth in the Strunstall Stakes, and where he finished eighth by 6.25 lengths. He just had nothing, but keep in mind, Lord Glitters won that day. Second place finisher with Mr. Charest, so it was a decent group of horses there. Before that, ran here at Ascot in the St. James Palace on very fast ground. He finished 10th by 10 lengths, again weakened out of it, and then his last race on very wet ground before the Longchamp race came in the Classic Trial at Sandown in 2018, where he finished fourth by 1.75 lengths behind Savannah Star, who I believe, by the way, is running here in the States now, and Espellini was a good horse and Hunting Horn, but this horse, he just didn't have the best of trips, and had and he just never quickened up, but the trip was more of the horse's fault more than his, but he liked those straight mile, and he'll like a give in the ground. At 20-1, he's a horse you definitely want to use here, and a horse, definitely use him on the Plays Pod. But to recap my selections now for the 5th, the 5 o'clock from Ascot's the Royal Hunt Cup, as a top selection, I would probably use the 4-horse Moradin, and I'm going to use also on the Plays Pod the 20-horse Seniority and the 21-horse Chilean. If I had to give you all these horses in my order, it would be 4, 21, 20. So 4, 21, 20. But like I said, I'll probably put them all into an exact box here, and depending on the prices, each way on at least 2 of them, but definitely use them on the Plays Pod. So now let's get to race number 6 from Ascot. The nightcap, the 6th race, the 5:35 from Ascot's the Windsor Castle Stakes. It's a listed stakes for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $115,500, race for 2-year-olds only. We have a field of 24 horses going 1,000 meters or 5 furlongs on the turf course. A very tough race here. I'll give you 2 horses that I think can win. The 2 horses I will be using is the 6-horse Ifraz, and I'll also use the number 21 horse here, Foolish Humor. I'll go 6:21 here, but the first horse I'll talk about is this number 6 horse Ifraz. This 2-year-old colt here. Frankie Dettori is on this one for Mark Johnston. The horse's most race now came into the 31st of May at Carlisle. Very, very boggy going. Heavy ground, 5 furlongs on a Class 4 novice, and the horse won by 2.25 lengths. Since the ground was very slow, the times were slow, and but he quickened up nicely, and he beat home a decent group of horses by pedigree that day. He won very nicely. Coming here to Ascot today, he's going to see similar conditions, and he has a good poster. Frankie Dettori up. I think he's going to run a big one. Like I said, his last one was very impressive, so I'll use him here along with the number 21 horse, Foolish Humor. 2-year-old filly by Distorted Humor. John Velasquez gets the leg up for Wesley Ward. The horse's most recent outing came the 2nd of May here in New York at Belmont on the Widener turf course, 5 furlongs in the main special weight, and the horse won by 2.75 lengths. That day, a few horses didn't break all that well, but this horse broke very well, went straight to the front end, didn't even get the whip, and won quite convincingly. It was a very good run. Since then, this horse has been training at Keeneland very nicely. He's been getting better with every workout, and I think she's sitting on a good run. There's 5 furlong turf races at Belmont for 2-year-olds early in the season, are some very good, I think some of the best 2-year-old races in the country here in the States early on in the season, and it's a good indicator which horses are going to do well. And this horse, I watched all the 2-year-old races I've been saving and logging all those races from Belmont so far this year. There's been about 12 of them, and out of all of them, I thought this horse had the best one, and she's been training well out of that race. I think she's going to run well here today. She's a good poster, and she has the speed to win. At 5-1, I'll definitely use her. Big question with her, though, will be, can she handle the wet going? But I'll use her here. The other 22 horse Crack, I want to get to her also since I just saw her. I'm not using her. I think she's going to be very overbred here. Her if you watched a replay of her going down the straightaway, she was so green. She was greener than a $3 bill, if that even makes sense. But she just never got into it. She won, but it wasn't the most impressive races for her. But I think the 21 horse Foolish Humor has the better chance of the Ward runners. But to recap my selection now for the 6th, 5:35 from Ascot, it's the Windsor Castle Stakes. I'll take the 6 horse Ifraz, and I'll also use the 21 horse Foolish Humor. 6:21 for me. Like I said, I'll put them into an exacta or forecast box. Definitely use them on the Plays Pod. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5, and join me the rest of the week for some more Royal Ascot previews.